Oh my goodness, I had to do a second taste challenge today because I realized, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it a week ago. A week ago, I said, I know there's another rye whiskey I'm forgetting somewhere. I just know it, but I couldn't figure it out. But I remember now this is a short neck bottle, and I had it in the bottom of my cabinet. This is Hunter Rye, Canadian Hunter Rye. Canadian Hunter introduced in 1984. Mostly what you see is the Canadian Hunter blended Canadian whiskey. But this is the Canadian or just Hunter Rye, the black, silver, and gray label. Canadian whiskey, a blend. It is a blend. It's a blend of whiskeys, but it's mostly rye. Rye. Why ask why? Just say rye. Now, the Canadian Hunter, regular Canadian Hunter, is probably high rye because Canadian whiskey tends to be kind of high rye. That's why the nickname for it was rye back years ago, a long time ago, like, 50 years ago. Hunter Rye 90 proof. There's an essay on the side of the bottle. I found this. I've never seen this in Louisiana except for a little sample bottle. It was like 100 milliliters at Broadway Liquors. And I bought it and I liked it. But I wanted to buy a regular standard bottle. They didn't have it. So I was like, well, I don't know. I'll never find it. And this bottle is so common. Like you say, I've seen that bottle before. That's the ancient age bottle. That's right. Or you say, that's the McAfee's benchmark bottle. It is. It's just a standard Sazerac Jack Daniels Mimic bottle is what it is. That's why Jack Daniels went to those sharp edges. They were trying to differentiate their bottles from these mimics. But 3 years ago, I wanted to go to Texas to go see the new Texas Rangers Stadium. And my friend David was like, I want to go too. He wasn't really, honestly, he was not interested in the stadium, but he wanted to go on a trip. So he was kind of not really interested in the stadium, but I was going no matter what. But he wanted to check out the liquor stores, beer stores. So we went to this place on the old United States Highway 80, which has been turned into Texas Highway 180, right by a railroad track. 4 lanes, 2 lanes west, 2 lanes east, big highway. But I said, and we stayed at a hotel, which was interesting. But I said, you want to, I told him 3 years ago, I said, you want to go see this liquor store called Liquor Warehouse? Well, he was very interested in that. He said, yeah. So we went there and he was fine and stuff, but he didn't like the price for the stuff he found. He was like, oh, it's way more than Total Wine. I said, okay. I didn't even know what he was looking for, some kind of scotch. But I found this. I looked and I said, Hunter Rye, full size bottle, $11.99. I said, I'm buying this. I'm buying this, boy. No age statement. We know it's at least 3 years old, being from Canada. So I bought it. And I've got half the bottle left. Well, actually, 60% of the bottle left. So now, last year, no, it might have been January of this year. Earlier this year, I found this. Wasn't looking for it. I just stopped in a store and I saw this on the shelf, had no tag. It looked like hell. The label was peeling off. The bottle was grimy, covered with grime. It looked disgusting. But I said, let me see what will happen. I brought it up to the checkout. I asked the guy, I said, what about this product? His eyes got big, like, he couldn't believe it was on the shelf and it was so nasty looking. He was embarrassed, but he said he rang it up and it came up to some actually kind of high price. I was like, oh, okay. He knew I wasn't going to buy it. So he says, for you, $9.99. And I thought about it. I said, $9.99. I know I can clean this up. I said, okay, you got it. So I came home, I cleaned it with warm water and soap. A day later, after it dried, I taped the label down with invisible tape. Transparent tape. Made it look presentable. The normal price is $17.99. So I got a $17.99 bottle for $9.99, and I got a $11.99 bottle for $11.99. That's cheap, right? $11.99. Ronnie S says, "Good evening, Ron. Do you wear Major League Baseball gear for every team?" Yes, for every team. So this is a follow-up video. I had forgotten to do this one. I overlooked it, I should say. So it's a plastic cap. I know I'm trying to hurry because of the National Socialist Football League, Monday Night Football. Real cork. Now this has real cork. It's a real cork stopper. It's not plastic. It's not a twist cap. You don't usually see that in a $17.99 bottle. There it is. Look at that, real cork. That's kind of nice. Indiana whiskey on an Indiana night. Oh my. Oh hell yeah. All right. And I've been to Indiana. I've actually been to every state. I've been to all 50 states. I accomplished that last month. So there's Ezra Brooks. I don't think I've ever seen you wear Yankees gear, maybe once. I've worn it. In fact, I wore it, Yankee stuff, recently. I got a Yankees cap and a Yankees shirt, but they don't make a lot of variants. You know, the Yankees got like one uniform. They don't do like the other teams, like Friday variant, Sunday variant, cancer awareness variant. You know, they just say we're the Yankees who won 29 or 28 World Series championships. We don't need to change our uniform every two weeks. Okay, I was just curious. That's okay. All right. So very orange, amber, more like amber. Now, who's going to win, the United States or Canada? You would hope the one for $17.99 would win over the one for $11.99. But now the Ezra Brooks is aged 2 years. 2 years. That's the truth. That's what it says. 2 years. It's straight, but that's straight rye, because you know straight whiskey only has to be aged 2 years. 2 years straight whiskey. True story. Hope everyone is doing well today, says Scoggett. Hello, Scoggett. All right, so I've been to Canada. I've only been to 5 of the 10 provinces. They have 10 provinces. We call them states, but I've been to 5. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Ontario, and Quebec. I'd like to go to the western ones, but we'll see what happens. Okay. I'll show you the website for Ezra Brooks. I cannot show you the Hunter Rye because they don't have a website. 51% rye, 45% corn, 4% malted barley, 100% genuine. Yeah, okay, marketing. Bottle at an honest 90 proof instead of dishonest 86 proof, whatever. It's a real straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Don't bring me up. Don't bring me down. All right. Hints of chocolate, leather, vanilla, and spicy grains balanced by slightly sweet and oaky tones. Really? Okay. So this has been de-emphasized, and chances are you're not going to find it. You're going to find the 99 proof, which would be too strong for me. But like they say, it's a real Real straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Yeah. No, I've never been to Germany. Been to Europe. Went to Europe last year. I went to England. Only, I didn't go to that many places. I went to England, Gibraltar, which is a territory, not a country yet. Went to Spain. That's three. And then I went to one of the Spanish territories in Africa. I took a ship to Africa, to Ceuta, Spanish Africa, which is still part of Spain. So I guess technically three countries, but two continents, and one island, England, offshore island of a continent, Europe. It was fun. I liked it. Glad to be back home, though. Burley Sullivan says, you. Cheers back to you. Burley. All right, so I did like Spanish Africa. I was going to go to one town, but I was going to walk there, and I couldn't make it. I was so tired, man. Benzu, but it's just a village, more than a town, a village. But I still would have wanted to go. But Ceuta was nice. I know one thing in Spain, those people love to eat sandwiches. They like sandwiches more than me, and I love sandwiches. Ham sandwiches, egg sandwiches, all kind of sandwiches. But to me, they don't put enough sauce on it, but they prefer it dry, I guess. The only country I've been to is Mexico. That was back in the 1980s. I've been to Mexico many times, and I liked it. I've been to every Mexican state that hugs the U.S. border. I've been to Tamaulipas, Nuevo León, Coahuila, Chihuahua, Baja California del Norte. I like Mexico. But they gave me I love a good ham sandwich. They gave me a lot of trouble coming back. Last time when I went in 2014, 10 years ago, they would give me a hard time coming back. I'm like, why are you going to Mexico? I should have just snuck back in. I probably would have had less trouble. Not a lot of aroma here. It's really sourdough, musty, like funky, like fermented cereal. I like it, but it's like pungent. You know what I mean? No, I mean, this is cleaner, clean, crisp. I think it's the Ezra Brooks. It's just got that cleanness. Canadian one has that mustiness. All right, like an old attic taste. Cheers. Hawaii. I went to Hawaii last month. Actually, I came back this month. I actually was there this month. I mean, Hawaii was all right. I preferred Spanish Africa and Spain, to tell you the truth, and Gibraltar. Even England. It was cold in England. It was freezing. It was 32 degrees. I was just like freezing. Oh, they had good coffee. I couldn't figure out how to get the coffee machine to work at the hotel, though. I was like, how do you get this thing to work? And the lady was like, did you press the button at the top? I said, I never heard of that. What are you talking? And then they had to explain it to me, and then I got it to work. Yeah. It was good. And I liked the way they had crystallized brown sugar to put in the coffee, like crystallized brown sugar in like a long paper tube, real cream. It was good. And you could buy beer at 8 in the morning, 8 a.m. I bought that 9% Karpaki beer from Poland at the Asiatic Superstore. I could have bought a lot more, but I had to get to the train, and then I had to get to the airport. And I was like, oh. I can't get all this product. I cannot do it because I got to get to the airport. I got to be in my right mind. I got to get to the check-in, and I want to get back home. So I was like, nah, I can't screw around with this. But I wanted to. But I had a tuna sandwich with red cheese on brown bread with their Karpaki, and of course the coffee, 3 cups. But I mean, it was all right. I mean, I like tuna, and it wasn't expensive. The whole thing was cheap, but like $3.90, £3.90, whatever, £3.90. But then I knew they were going to feed us on the plane. They're going to give you food on the plane. They kept giving us food, and then the lady was like, "You want these IPAs? Because I can't get my machine to ring up." Well, of course, it was Goose Island. She just gave me the beer. All right. They were supposed to charge for it, but I wasn't paying $8 for a can of beer. No, sorry. They gave it to me. All right. These do not taste very similar. It was British Airways in collaboration with American Airlines, because I bought the ticket from American Airlines on their membership. What do you call that? Rewards. But so I bought the ticket, which was very cheap, I might add. It was round trip, naturally, United States to England to Gibraltar, back to England, back to United States. But it was actually mostly British Airways. But they got an alliance. Like when the British people come here, they fly American, but all that. But it was fine. It was a direct flight from England to New Orleans. Direct flight, no layover. 10 hours, though. I was a torment. I was like, man, I'm never going back to Europe because I cannot sit on a plane for no 10 hours watching old Queen concerts. A very good concert from 1974, I had to admit, but I didn't want to watch it. I mean, it was good, but I mean, I'd rather be at my house doing this. But it was interesting. Got to see Buckingham Palace. Didn't get to go in, and it seemed like it was locked. This is the rye from Canada. This is the Hunter Rye because it's very sweet and has an herbal note. It has almost like a medicine, or not medicine. Yeah, vitamin note. This one's stronger, but they're both 90 proof, so I don't know why it would be stronger. But has less age on it, though. It's a little hotter, because this is 2 years age. Canadian whiskey has to be at least 3 years. The youngest Canadian whiskey you can buy is 3 years. Now, could Canadian whiskey have flavoring added? Could be. Don't know what those flavors would be. Now, Indiana straight whiskey cannot have flavoring added. Cannot. Illegal. Okay, so final point. Do I have it right? Is this the Ezra Brooks? I got it. So they don't really taste alike at all. Do you get the minty rye, like the mentholated rye? You get a little bit of that. Well, actually, you get a pretty good deal of that on the Ezra Brooks. So if you like menthol, mentholated, like some people puff on menthol cigars or cigarettes, inhaling. It's that kind of experience, it's like mentholated. So from mint, I like it. I really do like it. I got a great value. $9.99. That was just the greatest deal in the world. Not the greatest, but it was close. All right, now the Canadian Hunter. Hunter Rye, as they call it, Hunter Rye. Is it worth it? Well, it's certainly worth $11.99. I wouldn't pay $29.99 or even $21.99. I might pay. Well, I don't know. I'd have to shop around because I found it was $11.99. I knew that was a fair price at Liquor Warehouse, Texas Highway 180 westbound, Arlington, Texas, close to the baseball field. Formerly United States Highway 80, but it's the same road. I really like it. I really like it. And my friend David, he can't back out of this because I got the video posted. He gave it an A. He gave it an A in my backyard. Can't get around it. It's got some kind of yeastiness. You can't pinpoint it, but you say, It's almost like, is it a confectioner sugar? It's something. Now you say, well, they could add flavoring Canadian whiskey. It could be a flavoring. Doesn't seem to be. Seems to be a grain, but it could be, but I don't know. But could be deceptive like that. But would I buy it again for $11.99? That was 3 years ago. Oh yes, I certainly would. And is it readily available where I live? Definitely not. Absolutely not. I have never seen this in my town in my life. Of course, on the other hand, to be fair, I've never seen this in my town in my life. So these I bought out of town, but you'll probably never see the Ezra Brooks 90 proof because it looks like they've been phasing it out. It's going to be replaced by the 99 proof. So if you live in Portugal or Azerbaijan or Brunei Darussalam, you might find it. But if you live in the United States, you're probably not going to find it because like I said, they've put this one mostly to an export market product, as an export market product. But then you might find it. Winner. Hunter Rye. Oh man, that's tricky. Now, can you find Canadian Hunter? Oh yeah, easily. Canadian Hunter, Canadian blended whiskey, Walmart, Thurns, Winn-Dixie, they've all got it here in my town. That's at least 3 stores. Cash Saver might have it. I haven't inquired. Yeah, but it's not. It's common. The Hunter Rye, that's not common, and chances are I would never see it here. But in fact, I have not seen it here except for, like I said, the 100 milliliter bottle. But it's a niche product, but it's definitely worth it. Which one do I prefer? That's difficult. Sorry, that one kind of went up the wrong windpipe. I guess brought tears to my eyes. I guess I don't know. It's even. Price point, well, that's kind of price point's kind of difficult because I don't know really where to track these down. So I better avoid that. Enjoyment level, that's about even. But I think ultimately, I think I probably would prefer the Hunter Rye because it's a little bit cheaper and it does have a really good, interesting flavor. So a little bit more unusual flavor, which I like those unusual flavors. So I'm going to give the win to Hunter Rye, but it's very close. It's very close. Sorry, I choked and had an attack. But yeah, um, Hunter Rye with a little tiny bit advantage, but it's in a practical sense probably not really an advantage. My friend David calling me. You probably heard me talk about his name in the video. All right. Yeah. So the winner, yeah, no, there's no winner. It's your call. So but I'm glad I did taste challenge them and they don't taste the same. All right, so last comments. Easy win for Ron as usual. No, well, oh no. Very often they're not easy at all. These were easy because they didn't taste the same, but many of them are like extremely difficult. Does it have okay? Does it possibly have any mint hints in it? Um, well, the Ezra Brook, I picked that up when I was choking. The Ezra, still choking. Ezra Brooks certainly has mint. Yes, Ezra Brooks has mint. Um, Hunter Rye, no, but it has some kind of strange herbal note, which I like, but it's a little bit peculiar. Do you think there's any chance the White Sox ever relocate out of Chicago? Yes, I think there's probably a 50-50 chance. I've seen people talk about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen via aviation, but if it happens in New Orleans, then I'll go for it. Yeah. So I would say, yeah, mint. If you want mint, if you're really into mint, get the Ezra Brooks. If you want a unusual like herbal, I can't even pin it down flavor, get the Hunter Rye. It's memorable because it's different, you know. All right. Well, now it's time for the National Socialist Football League.